It's the South Florida Morning Show with Jennifer Ross and Bill Adams on News Talk 850 WFTL.
As you've heard all morning long, we promised you we're going to get this show out on the road pretty soon, and they are back. Trips are back. People are ready to travel, and we are. Jen's not buying my line. I'm just saying advanced research so that we can get you here to the beautiful Casa Marina, too.
Why don't you just tell them the truth?
I was researching the drinks, the margaritas, the steaks, the resort, the beach. It's all right here.
Okay, thank you very much.
More details on how you can get up here, though, and our buddy Andy Rossick. He is from. He's the director of sales and marketing here. First of all, Andy, we got to say this right out the gate here. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for joining us here in the Key West area. We love to have it.
Well, and thank you for yesterday because, if you know anybody who works in the hotel or the service industry, you realize that your days aren't like normal days. You start at 6 in the morning, and last night you were out with us till, I don't know, we closed the place down at like 2 o'clock. So, I mean, did you even sleep?
Not much, but
okay.
You know the saying, if you want to soar with the Eagles, if you want to hang with the Night Owls, you have to soar with the Eagles in the morning.
There you go. Okay, all right. Just
we'll use that.
You gave us a lovely walking tour, not only of Casa Marina here at the Waldorf Astoria, but also at your Curio Collection Hilton Hotel, the Reach next door. So if somebody wants to come down here, because we're giving away a trip at the 850 WFTL app,
Yep.
but if someone would like to come here for, the next couple of weeks or over the summer, you got family events, you got non-family events, you can go to either hotel, right?
Absolutely. And so if you're staying as a guest at Casa Marina, you have all of the privileges and the amenities over at the Reach and vice versa. So you have two hotels for the price of one, basically.
Oh.
Yeah, you got your choice of both. But the one theme we've noticed, Andy, Jen and I both said it. You could get here, unlike other resorts, you don't have to have advanced plan minute by minute what you're going to do. You get here and decide you could be as chill or as active as you want to be. Everything is available to you, and you don't have to really decide.
Everything's right here on property, so you could stay here and really enjoy the beach, the pools, water sports. We got jet skis, we have paddle boards, kayaks, you name it. But then you also have the town of Key West, which is amazing in nightlife, great restaurants. The dining scene is absolutely off the hook here.
I heard it's a drinking town.
It's a drinking town with a fishing problem.
Oh, is that it? Okay. Today you were going to take Bill and I, and we got a couple of other radio stations here, friends of ours that we haven't seen in a long time. So thanks for the reunion too. You're going to take us on a walking tour of Key West. So what can we expect?
So the walking tour of Key West is actually sponsored by some close friends of ours. It's Key West Food Tours.
Cool.
And they specialize in really giving you an experience that you wouldn't get just walking up and down Duval Street, which is great. But we're going to show you some places that the locals like to hang out at. Some really cool behind-the-scenes type of little joints and some really neat places, yeah.
The places that, and you're right, the locals would know about, where normally maybe you wouldn't find because you just go to the generic ones and whatever.
Right.
Which, like you said, are great. But this is something that's special. So this is, again, more information you can find out when you're here.
Yeah.
Right. And could you, make reservations for that walking tour?
Absolutely. Again, Key West Food Tours, it's great. They have a bunch of different food tours. They have a little bit of a craft cocktail tour. They do a Hemingway tour where all the places that Ernest Hemingway used to hang out and have drinks here in Key West. So
I heard that's really almost every place in Key West.
Which is true.
Everywhere we went yesterday, Hemingway used to drink here. I was like,
Could be this table right here where we are.
Kind of like Washington was here.
Yeah, right. That's right.
It was pretty wild. Yeah, you know what's interesting, because I'd never driven, and I will willingly admit this, I'd never driven to Key West. I've always either flown here or a cruise ship dropped me off, and you went wherever. And driving in, it was one of the funniest things. I'm driving, I'm like, wow, there's not a lot of land. There's little islands and there's little pockets, but you guys have a beach.
Yeah, we have a fantastic beach. It's the largest private beach in Key West. Our guests love it. It's great for social distancing. So
that's true too.
If you want to just kind of spread out and enjoy the hotel and just kind of make a place for yourself, you can carve it out for yourself.
There's a huge focus on cleanliness, though. There's a whole program that you've got going on here that you've actually done for quite some time that's really come through these past few months, especially, though, as people come back to touring.
Yeah, the Hilton Clean Stay program has been absolutely fantastic for us, and it really has given a comfort level to folks that have come down to enjoy the resort. It's great because they can come here and know that everything's been taken care of. They don't have to worry about the cleanliness, and we seal the doors before you come into your room. And,
saw that.
It's
right.
It's a very important part of the
I want to go to the other side of it, the social side of it, because last night we had dinner. What was the name of that restaurant?
At Four Marlins.
I keep on calling it every other food or every other fish in the ocean.
You called it Four Dolphins, Four Sailfish.
Whatever. It was fish. It was phenomenal. But right as we're sitting there, I had a perfect view of this pavilion that sits right on the ocean, and I was like, it's really nice. And you told us everybody gets married there, right?
The gazebo is probably the most popular spot in Key West for weddings.
Wow. So, and I like you booked like years in advance for that kind of place?
We book out pretty far in advance.
I can imagine.
Those folks that are thinking about getting engaged out there and you want a little destination wedding, come and take a look at the gazebo at the Reach.
Bill has 2 young daughters. One's in college. One's getting ready to go to. Maybe you want to make reservations over there. I'm just saying.
For some reason, your mic is dying over here, Jen.
You're going to have to think about this stuff soon. Trust me.
But it's true. Jen's exactly right. I mean, people plan years in advance. Like, let's say you stayed here as a younger person and you say, someday I'm going to get married here. And it happens, though. You see that happen. You see these stories play out in real time.
We do. We have hundreds of brides and grooms that we get letters from, and they come back year after year because of the special room. They want the same room that they got married in, so it's a very special place. Both the Reach and Casa Marina. We do a lot of beautiful weddings here at Casa Marina as well.
Absolutely.
The ballrooms are just spectacular here, and they have a lot of history behind them.
You know what? Speaking of history, the bar we were in last night, you got pictures all over it. And before we went on the tour with you, you said, take a look at the pictures. But what did you say about the ballroom? Who opened it? What orchestra?
We opened it. Actually, we just celebrated our 100th anniversary on New Year's Eve, and Guy Lombardo.
That's amazing.
Played in that ballroom.
Wow. Guy Lombardo.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Wow.
Come on. And if you don't know who he is, go Google it because he's like one of the greatest band leaders of all time. So,
there's so much history here, and it blends in with the history of this segment. We're right in Conch Republic here, but you embrace that history, you know what I mean, while bringing in all the new amenities, like the whole pool and deck area is amazingly modern.
This has always been the place to stay, and we have dignitaries still coming here, a lot of actors and actresses, sports figures. So it really, when you come to Key West, Casa Marina is
okay, I got to ask. You said sports figures. Tom Brady ever come? And could you call me if he does?
I'll let you know.
Okay, thanks.
After. I'll let you know after. Jenny was here.
Don't do that to me. This is. But first and foremost, thank you again. Bill had thanked you at the beginning, but thanks. We had a great time.
Again, to reach out here, we have something awesome going on the 850 WFTL mobile app here where people can win a vacation. But if you wanted to call, advanced planning, whatever, and also this though too, if you got a group of people. You got a business conference, whatever, to just reach out online on the website to book that?
CasaMarinaResort.com.
I don't know.
There's the ReachResort.com.
When I was, and we talked about this earlier, when I was checking in yesterday, all of a sudden it was like a bus pulled up and all these people started compiling. I was like, wow, where are they all coming from? Las Vegas.
Vegas?
From Vegas.
Yeah.
Wow. They were having their convention here. I was like, wow.
We do a lot of national meetings here and incentive trips for salespeople.
Sure.
So it's a big part of our business here in the Keys.
It was funny because I looked at him and I said, wait a minute, you always think, and no offense, but you always think of Vegas like that's a big convention area. So why would you leave? And the girl looked at me and she goes, ocean.
Yeah, no kidding.
I went, okay.
No passports required. It's a great option to other Caribbean islands that maybe not operating at this point. So, Key West is very enjoyable at this point.
Casa Marina in Key West. Andy, thank you so much, first of all, like Jen said, for having us, but secondly, for all you're doing at this place, because it's amazing and getting people here, too. So we appreciate your time, buddy.
Well, thank you.
Did he bother to tell you we're not leaving?
Oh, yeah. We forgot to mention that.
So.
You're going to find us in one of these hedges here.
We'll catch up on the walking tour later.
We'll talk about that. Thank you, Andy, so much. We appreciate it. And more details on how you can get here, the unbelievable thing we got going on in the app, and headlines, too. It's all coming up next. The South Florida Morning Show. This is Jen. I'm Bill. Keep it here. Well, even though it's Friday, Karen's got more news rolling right through. 8:30 will be the next one. What are you working on now?
Well, I wanted to give a programming update. Starting Monday, we have some exciting news here at 8:50. Dan Bongino joined our lineup.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's big.
I love him.
When's he going to be joining us? What time?
Monday, he'll be on from 1 to 3 right after Joyce. So he replaces Dana Lash. And his podcast is in the top, his podcast is just behind Ben Shapiro, which is after him.
Excellent.
So we're just locked and loaded with some of the best talent. I'm sorry, but it makes me feel skeevy when I hear Rush Limbaugh because he's dead. Sorry. Right? I mean, isn't that weird?
I know. I hear you.
Yeah, anyway.
I'm hoping that on Monday, Dan's first guest as far as being on WFTL will be Geraldo. Have you heard those two fighting back and forth?
It's beautiful.
That's good stuff.
It's the best title fight happening right now.
Really?
A lot of these things are tricked up for news media. It's like the Fox News producers are like, let's have him on again and have him contrive some stuff. I really, truly think they don't like each other. Like it's real,
yeah.
personal.
You may be right.
Yeah, he's a former Secret Service agent and
Right.
New York City police officer, and he's so well spoken, and he has a lot to say, and he says it really well.
Makes a lot of good points. We're actually going to have, I think, his whole show from 1 to 4, and then Shapiro is going to come on 4 to 6.
1 to 4.
Outstanding.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what this means, too, everybody? He's our co-worker, so I fully expect Dan Bongino at the Christmas party.
Yep.
Yay!
That's right.
He's going to be sitting at our table. Just saying.
So, Dan, what do you think of
Dan,
Geraldo?
so can you get us in the White House, Dan? That's all we want to know.
I remember running into Geraldo. He was back at our old station when we were down in Pompano. Geraldo was in the break room. I walk in, and he had spent the night in the conference room. I think he slept on the big table.
What?
He walks out. He's 5'2", and he's he's old, and he had rose-colored glasses. And his hair was all flopsy mopsy. It's hey, good morning. How are you, Geraldo? He was very nice, by the way.
Wow.
It's funny that you say that because I had a friend who was an intern at CBS years ago, and she said he was the biggest jerk in the newsroom. Yeah, but that was years ago. So maybe as he has gotten older and matured, he's chilled.
Yeah, I caught him just as he woke up, and some people wake up and you don't want anything to do with
That's a
them.
crazy story.
I know. I don't think I've even spent the night in the conference room.
We used to have
Jeez.
people sleeping in there all the time. It was so weird. Anyway,
Really?
that more coming up.
Won't ask why.
All that stopped when we bought you and moved the station up north.
Yeah, really.
All right, thanks, Garen. We'll see if that and more with news coming up bottom of the hour. It's about 11 minutes away at 8:30. News Talk 850 WFTL. It's the South Florida Morning Show. There's Jen, I'm Bill, and we got the details coming up in just a couple of minutes, too, about how you get here to the amazing, incredible Casa Marina Resort in Key West. Doing the show from here right now.
Yeah, as Bill says, it's advanced research, and
yeah.
he's full of it, but that's besides the point.
Well, we got to look at all the beautiful things and make sure it's cool for you.
And if you go to 850WFTL.com on our page, Diener, thank you so very much. All the interviews and all the pictures I've been sending him. As a matter of fact, my breakfast, I sent it to him. I said, here, we never post food pictures, but you got to just put this up. I literally asked for 2 scrambled eggs, and you saw what came out.
It's a work of art.
It was my goodness, it was like a 7-course meal. So this is how they treat you here at the Casa Marina.
Including at the restaurant last night, which is the name is, Jen?
The 4 fish. The 4 swordfish? What was it he said? What were
You're
they?
getting closer. 4 Marlins.
Marlins. I could think of the baseball team.
Think of 4 baseball
Okay,
players. Think of the infield.
I'll think of the baseball team.
All
Okay,
right.
that'll. I even told the hotel manager it was swordfish. She was like, "That's a good name, but it's the wrong one." It's like, oh, jeez. In the event, by the way, Diener, Mega Millions Marty, your father-in-law.
Yeah, that's right.
Remember
Marty.
the last time Mega Millions was over? It was like $600 and something million or close to $1 billion. And we found out that some guy in Virginia had just won a couple of million playing the numbers that he got in his fortune cookie.
That's right.
Right?
Oh, that's
Yes.
Well, if you think it's crazy, since 2004, granted, it's over an extended period of time, but since 2004, 146 Americans have won lotteries from the numbers they got on their fortune cookie.
Come on.
Yes.
There's no way.
The average winner took home $100,000.
Are you serious?
Overall, the total amount won $406 million.
From the numbers they gave you.
From the numbers that were on the back of their fortune cookie little ticket.
Yeah, but then you turn it over and the fortune is, do not order the poo-poo platter.
Use these numbers.
Use these numbers, but
anyway,
don't order this.
Tonight's Mega Millions, as it stands right now, it's still at $515 million. It could very easily change. I'm sure it's going to. But still, maybe go out, have some Chinese food for lunch, get a fortune cookie, and play the numbers.
God love you. And then remember who your friends are who gave you that tip and share.
Yeah.
That's all I would say.
Yeah, Jen.
Yeah, me. Not you, not Diener, not Bill. Just me. Okay.
In a completely different part of the world, well, this was good news. We woke up to this. There is a peace deal, a ceasefire. I wouldn't call it a peace deal, a ceasefire in place in the Middle East.
Well, hopefully that does lead to some kind of peace deal in the future. Unfortunately, and I'm not trashing the Biden administration by any stretch of the imagination, but isn't it interesting that in the 3 months that this man has taken over the presidency, or the 5 months, that we've had all kinds of problems, and we had a ceasefire forever. It was
Right.
it was a peace deal. There was no unrest in the Middle East.
Right.
And, a lot of people that we know here live in America still have relatives in Israel.
Of course.
And, or family members.
Of
And
course.
it's like, goodness gracious, you don't want to hear about that. So it's nice to know it's quiet.
So now that is going on. Apparently, our Secretary of State is planning a trip after Israel and the Palestinian militant group Hamas, you've all heard about, agreed to end the 11 straight days of fighting.
Is that Blinken? I don't know.
Tony Blinken? Yes.
Okay. Isn't that sad? I could have told you everybody in the cabinet when Trump was president. I can't even tell you who the Secretary of State is.
Because we're just back to the swamp monsters.
Oh.
It was interesting before.
Yeah, it's this hopefully, you know what? I know the Biden administration tried to take credit for ending this, and Benjamin Netanyahu said, no, you had nothing to do with this. So I don't know who the influence was.
I don't know.
Because I know Egypt had sent in arbitrators last week to try to, scale things down. So maybe Egypt had a lot to do with it. I don't know, but either way, there's a ceasefire, and that's good news.
We'll take it.
I
In the
agree.
meantime, this is why we always like to talk about places like this, the Casa Marina, where we are in Key West.
Yes.
Completely drivable from South Florida. Here's another reason why this looks more and more attractive. These problems with the nation's major airlines, the online systems,
that's
long delays at airports. Now, this is across the country. American and JetBlue have responded on Twitter to complaints from travelers.
Wow.
They're apologizing. It's the best they can do right now. They're working to resolve the problem. JetBlue said on its website a system outage was affecting the website. So that means airport kiosks, their app, and their phone line for people to try to call in if they're stuck somewhere.
What the system's called, I think it's called the Sabre system. That was American Airlines originally. That was how they booked all their flights. And then they ended up selling it off to various other airlines, obviously JetBlue. So if that thing's down, that means, that would be like you trying to get online and the internet's down. Forget it. It's not going to happen. So until they fix the problem, you're going to be sitting there, unfortunately.
Which is bad enough. What if you were in the middle of a connecting flight and you still got to go to that airport kiosk to get the next boarding pass or something?
Geez.
My God.
You're stuck.
That's a nightmare.
And too bad for the airlines. And it makes you wonder, is it because it wasn't used so massively over the past year because no one was flying, and now because you get so many people making reservations, the system crashed?
I would actually love to hear that was the issue. Let's hope it's not another hack, for sure. And nobody is indicating anything like that, but let's hope that's not the case.
Oh, well, if they got $4.5 million in Bitcoin, they'll be all set, and they'll have to pay the hackers.
Wow.
They found out, by the way, that it was some Yahoo that worked for the Colonial Pipeline out in Texas that clicked on an email that unleashed that virus.
My God.
At the pipeline.
You remember
and
that
that's
old,
all it takes.
Remember that old commercial? I can't remember what it was for, but that one lady in a cubicle, you've launched the pink slip virus.
And everyone's going,
it
got fired.
Goes to everybody else's computer.
And that's exactly what happened.
Oh, God.
Somebody that's traveling with me, I won't mention his name, but was telling me a company happened at their place. And what happens is it encrypts all the files that you have.
Right.
And then what will happen is the hackers will get in touch with you and say, okay, this is the code to unzip this file and return it to its normal, state, so you can actually use it again.
Yeah, and here's the price for the code.
And if you want the rest uncrypted, then you better send us X amount of dollars.
Oy.
It's crazy. So this is why our company sends us those things all the time, those fake emails.
No, as you should. You got to be really cyber secure with this stuff.
Just to test you. So just be careful what you click on.
All right, so hopefully the airline issue clears itself up pretty soon. You don't need to fly to Casa Marina in Key West, where we are right now, like Jen always likes to say, doing advanced research.
That's Bill saying that. I just say it's a drinking town.
We're here because we're trying to get you here, too, and it's all through the 850 mobile app, which you should have anyway, by the way, because it's awesome. You get all of our stuff and all of our shows. But right there is where you enter to win. It's 3 days, 2 nights, and dinner. Oh, dinner's included in this.
At the Four Marlins, you could go there. Because that's part of, because
now
they told us at Casa Marina, you can also go to the Reach, which is right next door, and everything there is yours or everything here is yours. They're interchangeable.
It's unbelievable. All on the app. 3
place.
days, 2 nights. You could win Casa Marina in Key West. More headlines and more details on that are coming up next. Do you hear what Texas is doing now?
Another lottery?
No.
Oh.
This is what I want us to do. They've gone from dropping mask requirements to going after businesses that require them now.
Really?
It's completely full circle.
I love. Oh, so that means Greg Abbott's on the phone with Ron
That's
DeSantis
right.
today. It's coming soon.
Ron, I got a great idea. We got that and more coming up next. The South Florida Morning Show. There's Jen on Bill. Keep it here. Thank you so much, Karen. We'll see you for very soon. The South Florida Morning Show, News Talk 850 WFTL. Here's Jen. I'm Bill. We promised you we were going to take this show on the road when we started to beat this pandemic, and we are. We have the exact details on how you can get here to Casa Marina in Key West. This place is absolutely amazing. We've threatened not to leave. I think we're not kidding.
Well, you know what? They carved a little spot in the bushes over there for us, I heard.
That's for you after the walking tour.
That was after, okay, well, the walking tour, which apparently is a drinking town here in Key West, because we're stopping, according to Andy, we're going to all the bars in town. So we're going to be in great shape around 5 o'clock this afternoon.
I would stay close to the 850 Facebook page, too, for some videos from that. But just to give you a little hint to win this, your shot at this for 3 days, 2 nights at Casa Marina, all on the 850 mobile app. Details coming up. In the meantime, you know, we always say that we think Governor Ron DeSantis and Governor Greg Abbott in Texas are in cahoots. I think they have phone calls late at night together, sharing ideas.
Yeah, they're like two teenagers. You know, they meet 11 o'clock at night. Oh, what'd you do today, Ron?
Ron, listen to this one. Listen to what we got. Well, listen to what Texas is doing. Tell me this hasn't come full circle.
Okay.
Texas has not only dropped their mask mandate. They were the first to do it. Remember when that happened?
Right.
They've gone full circle. There's a new mask order in Texas.
There is?
A little different, though. Any government facility that tries to force people to cover up could be fined.
Come on.
They've come full. It's the exact opposite of what it was like 6 months ago.
So I figure 2 o'clock this afternoon, the Ron's going to come out of the governor's mansion.
That's right.
I have no idea where he's been. He hasn't been on the road. I think he took the week off because he was worried about the gambling thing.
He's working on the gambling thing.
So he's going to come out of the governor's mansion, going to stand up there in his blue suit on, and he's going to say, okay, governmental buildings, you don't have to wear a mask or you're going to be fined. How do you find the government?
I don't know,
He's
but I love it.
finding himself.
Businesses, private business could still require masks in Texas, but all public schools are banned from doing that starting June 5th.
That's awesome.
That's pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
That should tell you exactly where we are in this, which is great news, actually.
It's true. And yesterday, by the way, they came out because there's so much misinformation. But I have friends who have, like your daughter going to college, and they're like, does my kid have to wear a mask when school starts?
Right.
There's a list of universities, and if you Google it, it's the states. There are like 8 states now that say your kids don't have to wear a mask or they don't have to be vaccinated to go back to school.
Exactly.
In college.
That's exactly right. And they're all signing on, and they're all following the leader.
You got to figure, if you're going to go to a blue state, they're going to require, like if you're going to Harvard or you're going to Yale, good for you, number one, but you're going to need a vaccination and you're going to be wearing a mask for the next 10 years, unfortunately.
It's a big deal. Some national news. More than 2,000 National Guard troops in D.C. heading home. You were just talking about this yesterday.
We were trying to figure out who is left. I'm assuming these are the last of the 2,000. You can only hope. They've been there for 6 months. 5 months. Well, almost 6 months.
I'm sure some are still going to be left behind because of the capital defense bill that they signed in for themselves yesterday. Over $1 billion.
Oh, but wait. Nancy Pelosi's got a fence, razor wire,
right,
and the Secret Service all over the place, and whoever else they have. Plus now the National Guard's gone, but they're hiring private security?
Well, no. This won't be private. It'll be from your tax dollars.
Oh, wonderful.
Just to let you know.
To protect them.
While the push is still underway, by the way, to defund police throughout communities.
Okay. I'll see how that's working.
That makes all the
sense.
Go
look at the crime rate in Chicago, New York, and Minneapolis, and tell me how that defunding's working.
All right. Well,
okay, we need good stuff.
I got great stuff.
Please.
Apparently, your voice does matter. If you show up at a school board meeting, this may not be your top choice of entertainment, because this one the other night in the Taj Mahal on Forest Hill Boulevard was 7 hours.
God love these people.
But their voices were heard, though, because in a big turnabout, opposite from what we were told yesterday, Palm Beach County School Board now has made masks optional for students right now.
Yeah, outside. And this is a big deal because, and kudos to these parents because they've been protesting for a while. But these are parents of little children and big children,
right,
but saying, you know what, my kid's coming home with a headache. They're dizzy. They got blurry vision. It's having these adverse effects on them. And then, more importantly, kudos to the school board because at the end of the meeting, they basically said, hey, you know what? It takes a lot to change a policy, and it's like moving a mountain, not like moving a pebble.
No, it's a big deal.
So it takes time, and we're probably going to be out of time before the school year. And here, 2 days later, they changed their minds. So good for them for being resilient.
They did. They listened. I give them credit for that. It should also tell you, though, too, when they tell you that a policy can't be changed, yeah, it can. Sure it can.
It happens every day in our studio. I threaten you. Works really well.
We got a new policy.
What's that, Jen?
Yeah.
You're buying breakfast every day, Bill.
Right.
It's just that simple.
All right, let's get to the real important stuff. We want to get you here. You know what? You're not buying my line? This is all advanced research?
No.
I had to research the unbelievable beachfront property the steak last night, all the drinks,
lobster,
the amazing amenities here at Casa Marina. It's advanced research, not just for us. It's to get other people here too. But it's happening. It's all in the 850 mobile app, which you should have anyway.
Yeah, so true, because not only do you get all our shows and you get the podcasts, but you can also win a 3-day, 2-night stay here at the Casa Marina in Key West, and it includes dinner. So if you have a dinner like we had, which was fabulous last night at the 4 Marlins. I'll get it right because I told the general manager it was the 4 swordfish.
You've called them dolphins, swordfish.
Well,
I know it was a baseball team.
I didn't realize it was the baseball team until now. But anyway, I'll get it right this time. But the food was phenomenal, and this place is phenomenal.
It's everywhere you turn. It's top-notch. What I think makes it, though, is the people who work here are incredible. I mean, everybody. The pride they take in work from top to bottom. We talked to the GM, but we talked to some of the, good Lord, servers, cleaning people, everybody. Top-notch. They take a lot of pride in this place.
Yeah, and I'm going to go off script here for 1 second. Julie Watson, who is in charge of the marketing department that we work with, who is like the liaison between us and the hotels, her organization, she and her organization, it's really just her. The woman's incredible. We never have any problems. Yeah. It's as smooth as can be. So thank you, Julie and John Marketing.
But remember, as we've been saying, we've turned the corner on this thing. I think we're almost there to claim victory over this pandemic, over this virus.
And we can tell you right now, with the exception of employees here at Casa Marina, and they're required to wear a mask, nobody else is wearing a mask. And we're outside. We're outside in the back patio.
And it's completely safe. I mean, You're totally clean. It's a big focus here by Hilton. It's their program. And Casa Marina could be yours, too. I'm talking about 3 days, 2 nights with dinner, like Jen said. 850 mobile app. Listen on there. And the more you listen, you obviously have a better chance to win this thing. But you want to get here. People are traveling again. They've told every industry in the world is saying that this summer travel season is going to be off the hook.
Well, look at it's just a prime example of what that Sabre system going down with American and JetBlue. They got people locked up at airports across the country now because of that. So
drive here.
Yeah, drive here. Forget about it. It was a nice drive, too. I didn't hit any traffic.
Yeah, not bad.
I was shocked.
Not bad.
We were going like 80 over the bridge.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I had a Camaro on top of me. I thought it was you.
Wasn't me.
I was like, it was the wrong color.
Was not me.
Is that Bill behind me?
No, this is a family trip. Had to take Lauren's Volvo.
Oh, okay. We got the Volvo.
No, we're in the family Volvo.
Let me ask you a question when we get back. If a beer that you drink changed its can to a vegetable picture, would you buy it? Just because it was a different can?
No, if it's something I drink already, I'm already going to drink it. Would it get me to drink a brand I don't normally drink?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, well.
But they're trying.
Get Bush on the phone
That's
and
right.
tell them they screwed up.
We got that, more details on how you can get here to Casa Marina in Key West, too, and more details. The little girl from Escambia County, we're hearing directly from her now, the amazing kid that fought off the creeper.
I love this child.
It's unbelievable. The more you hear from this story, it gets better and better. And it's next. The South Florida Morning Show. There's Jen. I'm Bill. Keep it here. Almost news time again? Wow. Kellen's got that handled up. Back in the studio. That's coming up top of the hour. What are you working on now?
Well, there's a big iceberg that snapped off from Antarctica, and it's heading right toward you there in Key West.
Well, it'll melt, I tell you.
Yeah. It's not going to hit that whale, is it?
By the time it hits my tequila and margarita juice, it's going to melt.
Wow.
Yay. You have your ice picks ready?
Yeah.
It's the world's largest iceberg. Wow.
Is it really?
Yeah, it broke off. According to the European Space Agency, and I have the video of it snapping off at our website, 850wftl.com, it broke off in the Weddell Sea south of South America. And so satellite images show it stretching over like 1,600 miles. That's like 3 times bigger than Los Angeles, 6 times bigger than New York City.
Whoa.
Wait, you said it was 1,600 miles?
Yeah, it's a biggie.
How does that happen?
Holy cow.
I know. So it's actually named A-76, A-76.
So what happens to this thing? Does it melt or just float around?
Well, no, the good news is it's just floating around. And because it was already part of a floating ice shelf, it just snapped off. It's not going to lead to a rise in sea levels. Hooray!
In a related story, the Titanic 2 is launching from England.
Jeez.
Exactly.
Wow.
Who knew that?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that big. That's ridiculous.
It's like a country. You're
It
right.
should be like your house is on one part and your friend's house is on the other, and all of a sudden, wait a minute, where's Bob?
Where? I've got oceanfront property now.
That's incredible.
It is anyway. The
really
penguins
is.
and
It's
the
crazy.
and the polar bears are happy. Well, that more coming up.
Thank you,
Thank
Karen.
you.
We'll see you, or hear you anyway, at top of the hour for your next newscast. News Talk 850 WFTL. It's the South Florida Morning Show. There's Jen. I'm Bill. We're, as you've heard all morning long, broadcasting live from Casa Marina in Key West. Amazing place. But it's all about getting you here. Details are coming up in a couple of minutes. It's all about the 850 mobile app, how you get here. 3 days, 2 nights could be yours.
But dinner, don't forget. And that's a big deal, the dinner.
The food here is amazing, as you would expect it to be with a property like this. But I mean, literally, like, we ordered eggs last hour, just figuring they're going to be some eggs. 3-course meals came out.
I don't know. Diener, I sent Diener the pictures of our breakfast. Diener, did you get those pictures? Just put one of them up somewhere, like on Facebook or Instagram or somewhere. It's like, was incredible.
Yeah,
like,
that picture is up
meal.
there. It's quite impressive, I must say. There's a lot of stuff on there.
Details coming up, but I'll tell you what's impressive. This little girl, Alyssa, from Escambia County, I think the whole world knows her story by now. She fought off the creeper in an amazing way by a tip she watched by Law & Order SVU.
Isn't that amazing? Every
Every time you hear another detail about this story, though, it gets more incredible.
Well, this little girl, I guess she's a big fan of the show.
Right.
And just to give you some background, it looks like she's waiting at the bus stop, but it's kind of like she's waiting in front of her house.
Yeah.
And she's playing. And she's like you said, 11 years old. Now, a couple of days prior to this attempted abduction, the same guy in the same van that was painted a different color stalked her.
God, what a creep.
And then came back a couple of days later, and I guess the time before, her mother was with her because her mom usually walks her to school or takes her to school. And this time he saw her by herself. So he came, he had painted the van a different color. He saw her. Literally, he jumps out of this van with a knife, and then he grabs this little girl, this 11-year-old Alyssa, and then she fought him off. But what she did is really quite incredible from stuff she had garnered from watching that show.
First of all, that's the most horrifying thing you can think of as a parent.
Oh, dear. Yes.
But secondly, you hope that your child, and maybe this is what we should take out of this, you teach your child to kick, scream, fight, self-defense, anything, or
Bite,
maybe
whatever.
be as smart and as, I guess, cognizant of the situation as little Alyssa here, is what she did with this blue slime she was playing with. She actually intentionally put it on his arm so he could be identified.
Right, so they'd have some identifying factor when and if they caught him, if she had been abducted.
So now little Alyssa, again, who's 11, is actually talking about the story in her own words.
The knife came towards me, and I tried to run, but he caught me. I was able to get the slime onto his upper arm, and I think a little bit onto his lower arm. But I knew that might be better evidence, or if the cops do find him.
She knew, she was thinking about evidence at the time if the cops do find him.
Isn't that
and
amazing?
that was an if.
That's if, yeah. But this little girl, and you know what, it's true, because remember that whole stranger danger scene?
Right.
And little kids were afraid to ask for help, and it caused more problems
That's right.
than it did good. Teach your kid to scream as loudly as possible. Kick, punch, poke, fight, do whatever. Scratch. Just claw your way out of it. And that's about this little girl. You watch her, she's just wiggling. She wasn't going to let go.
She's unbelievable.
So good for. I hope they invite her to the show.
I think they will. I bet you they will.
They got which one? I don't know. It would be. I would assume the main one. It's still on, right? It's like on its 28th season. It's been around forever.
Look at that. That's incredible.
It really is good for her.
All right, why are you trying to get me to drink funky beer cans?
I'm not trying to get you to drink a funky beer can, but let me ask you this, Diener. You're a beer drinker, so you can chime in too. If say it's a beer you don't like, but it changed the can to be appealing to other people, would you try that beer? Okay, I'm going to tell you what the beer can now looks like. Instead of having the company logo on the outside and like a waterfall or whatever, it has an ear of corn on the cob.
Oh, gosh.
It's shaped like is it shape?
No,
or it's all colored that way.
It looks like corn on the cob. Yeah.
Are we supposed to ask why?
I don't know why. Busch Beer thinks that you're going to drink their beer. It's Busch Light beer cans. They got 25-ounce cans. They're designed to look like corn on the cob. So I don't know if they're shaped like corn on the cob as well, but I think it looks like a piece of corn on the cob. So would that get you to drink a beer?
I got to tell you, honestly, just first reaction, I think it would get me not to drink it.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I
I just don't like it.
Are 25-ounce cans a lot bigger? I mean, those are the big ones, right?
Those are tall boys, I think. Aren't they?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Diener, would you drink it because it looks like corn on the cob?
No, I'm actually with Bill here because like I'm not I'm not a fan of like really dark beers. This is kind of too bitter for me. So like if I got say I don't know like a Guinness or something like that, just something really dark, and I'm like, oh, okay, it looks like a corn on the cob. I guess I'll try it, and then it still tastes like Guinness. It's just gonna freak me out because it's like, man, I was expecting a different taste. No,
So
it's
you're
weird.
telling me Bush Budweiser beer just spent like millions of dollars on a campaign that's not going to work?
Yeah, that's
Pretty much.
weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It sounds. No, I haven't seen the picture of it. Is it like with the cob, like the green outside thing with like the stalk, or is it like the?
No,
like
the
it
yellow.
looks like the yellow kernels.
The yellow kernels.
See,
part.
that's why I'm out.
Really?
It's the yellow.
Oh.
I hate yellow.
Do you really? Is that why you don't like my house? Oh, shit.
No, it's because you try to shoot me when I walk up.
Just the sound effect to get you to leave. That's all. That's all.
I-
Seems to be working, though.
I don't
Good.
know. I've been wrong about everything in 2021, so I'm probably going to be wrong about this. It's
But
probably going to go gangbusters.
I can't imagine though. But it's now it's in like 33 states. I don't know if Florida's one. I was trying to figure that out, but I couldn't find whether
Is
or
it
not
for?
it was in.
I wonder if it's like part of like a corn. People play cornhole at tailgates.
Oh, maybe that's
Does that
it.
make any sense? I don't have no idea.
You what? You throw the can instead?
That could be full. I have no idea.
Go ahead, put your head in that hole
Hey.
there, Henry. I'm going to throw this
Yeah.
can at
Hey,
you.
y'all, watch this.
I was just curious. I didn't know. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why
Well-
they're doing it, but they're doing it.
Well, the law firm of Diener and Bill have decided. We say no.
Okay, I'll
Right,
get
we're out.
Budweiser. I'll get Budweiser on the phone and tell them they just wasted millions of dollars.
We got more. The reason why we are here is to get you here at Casa Marina in Key West. It's amazing. They have 1,100 feet of oceanfront property. You know how hard it is to find a resort with a beach in Key West?
You know how hard it is to find a beach?
It's true.
Because
It's true.
if your whole drive in here, you look where it says there was a place that says Anna's Beach. I went, oh, they got a beach. It was like
No.
a plot of sand.
No, they're usually like, yeah,
Like
that's
a plot.
like little boat ramps. That's what they call the beach.
You're
well,
right.
That's different here. 850 WFTL mobile app is how you do it. The more you listen, you got a shot to win this thing, and it's incredible. 3 days, 2 nights, and dinner could be yours. So more details on that coming up. On the other side, some headlines, too. We'll talk about something. I don't know what else we're going to
Oh,
find.
no, we're going to talk about how dumb men are. Because this style that you all want to bring back from the 80s, people need to keep you guys quiet over this.
All right, so Jen Solo for the 9 o'clock hour. I'll be on the beach. It's coming up next. News Talk 850 WFTL.